Welcome, everyone. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for today's explainer. We are sitting right at the midpoint of 2026, and honestly, the stock market is locked in this incredible multi-force tug-of-war right now. We're talking intense sector rotations, rapidly shifting macro winds, and some truly fascinating technical setups all just colliding at once. It's a critical moment for your portfolio. So today, we're going to unpack exactly what the raw data is telling us, straight from the source, and translate that into actual, actionable insights for you.
Okay, let's dive into this. The million-dollar question. Actually, scratch that. It's more like the trillion-dollar question driving the central debate across the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq right now is this. Is the massive AI and semiconductor rally finally running out of steam, or is this simply a necessary pause? Just a chance for the market to catch its breath before launching into its next huge surge. Well, looking at the data today, we're going to find out exactly where the smart money is moving.
Here's our quick navigator's map for today. We'll kick things off with macro drivers focusing on tech and oil. Then we'll dive right into the S&P and Nasdaq technicals, look at momentum indicators like the MACD and KDJ, and finally, wrap it all up with your concrete trading playbook.
Starting off with Section 1, Macro Drivers covering tech and oil. So, to really understand the wild ride the Nasdaq has had lately, it dropped over 4.3% last week before just forcefully rebounding 2% early this week, we have to talk about window dressing. The main catalyst kicking this off right now? Alphabet. Google's parent company is making history by officially joining the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And hey, this isn't just some symbolic win. It has massive mechanical implications. Major mutual funds and institutional players are literally scrambling right now to shuffle their decks and rebalance for the quarter end to reflect this index shift. All this forced buying and selling, it's creating massive intraday volatility among those heavyweight tech stocks. It's kind of like watching giant cargo ships trying to turn around in a narrow canal. It makes some serious waves.
But while tech is doing its complex little dance, we have this massive number popping up, 74. Brent crude oil has plunged down to roughly $74 a barrel, with WTI dropping to 70. Why the drop? Well, we've seen progress on Middle East truces and the resumption of shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, but the real so what here is what this means for the broader market. This drop in oil acts as a massive, much-needed relief valve against the recent PCE inflation data, which, as you know, came in just a little hotter than expected. Cheaper oil is basically a direct tax cut for both consumers and businesses.
And this brilliantly illustrates that tug-of-war we talked about at the start. On one side of the rope, you have the tech rebound, where capital is just aggressively flowing back into those battered AI and semiconductor stocks that became heavily oversold during last week's dip. Then, on the totally opposite side, we're seeing non-tech value. Consumer, industrial, and small-cap stocks are rallying hard, and they're being totally fueled by that cheap oil and the cooling inflation narrative. It's a completely fascinating dual-track market we're watching unfold right now.
Moving to Section 2, S&P and Nasdaq technicals.
Right now, the S&P 500 is holding really strong above 7440, and the Nasdaq is keeping its footing above 25,800. And a huge reason for that stability? 64%. Right now, 64% of S&P 500 stocks are trading above their 50-day moving average. To put that in perspective, last month that number was sitting at just 50%. This is an absolutely incredibly healthy signal. It tells us that this market rally is fundamentally expanding. We aren't just relying on, 3 or 4 mega-cap tech unicorns to drag the entire index higher anymore. The whole foundation of the market is getting broader and a lot stronger.
Let's break down those moving averages, because this is really where the rubber meets the road. Looking at the long term, the 120-day and 240-day lines are in perfect bullish alignment. The long-term bull market is firmly intact, no doubt about it. But in the short term, heavyweights like Nvidia and AMD actually broke below their 5 and 13-day lines during that recent tech sell-off. But check out that critical 55-day moving average. This line acted as an absolute floor. Those chip giants hit that midterm decision line and bounced beautifully. It's providing incredible structural support right now.
Next up, let's translate a bit of technical jargon, Bollinger Bands. Just think of these as a visual representation of volatility. Right now, the Nasdaq's daily Bollinger Bands are narrowing. They're really tightening up. When this happens, it acts just like a bottleneck. All that market energy is compressing. The index has been resting right on the midband, which signals that we're stuck in a choppy, box-bound market for the moment. But remember, a narrowing band is literally just a market waiting to explode into a wider, volatile lane. A big move is absolutely brewing.
All right, on to Section 3, momentum indicators, specifically the MACD and KDJ.
So to predict which way this market might break, we really need to gauge its underlying horsepower. First, let's look at the KDJ, which is a key momentum oscillator. During last week's severe tech drop, this tracker got pushed deep into oversold territory, plunging all the way down near the 20 level. But then earlier this week, something critical happened. The K and D lines pivoted and crossed upward, forming a classic golden cross right at the bottom. This is pure, unadulterated short-term rebound fuel. It mathematically confirms that the initial panic selling has completely exhausted itself.
But the MACD indicator tells a slightly more cautious story. If you think of the MACD as the market's gas pedal, well, recently we saw a high-level death cross. Now, I know that sounds scary, but notice how the bearish green bars are actually shrinking, not growing. The downward momentum is fading. Now, if market volume increases, we have the potential for a secondary golden cross revival, essentially stepping back on the gas. But here's the catch. If volume dries up ahead of the holidays, that momentum could slip dangerously below the zero axis. Volume is absolutely the key word to watch here.
Finally, Section 4, your trading playbook. Let's make this actionable.
We've looked at the macro wins and the technical engine. Now let's turn all that data into a concrete strategy. Here's your playbook for AI and semiconductor giants like Nvidia and AMD. The strategy's super clear. Buy the dip, but whatever you do, do not chase the highs. Your ideal entry point, waiting for a precise intraday pullback to the 13-day moving average or that Bollinger midband we just talked about. But pay super close attention to your defense. You must set a strict stop loss right at the 55-day moving average. If it breaks below that on high volume, you get out. The target, if the setup holds, is a steady return to previous historical highs.
Now, what about the rest of the market? Well, our traditional sector playbook targets consumer, industrial, and small cap stocks. Their primary catalyst right now are those expectations of interest rate cuts and, of course, the massive tailwind of falling oil prices. For these bottom-up candidates, your entry signal is a clear, definitive break above the 60-day moving average. And just to confirm it's a real breakout and not a fake-out, you'll want to look for your momentum signal, an MACD golden cross occurring just above the zero axis.
But listen, before you execute any of these plays, you absolutely must respect the golden rule right now. As we head into a holiday-shortened trading week packed with massive economic data releases, risk management is paramount. The data strongly advises limiting your overall portfolio positions to around 60%. Why? Because keeping cash on the sidelines gives you the flexibility to be aggressive if the data breaks your way, while protecting your core capital if the market decides to throw a curveball.
And that brings us to the ultimate question. With the massive JOLTS job openings report and the non-farm payroll data looming this week, will the labor market finally confirm the Federal Reserve's dream of a soft landing, sending this broadened rally into the stratosphere? Or will an unexpected data shock trigger the next painful tech sell-off? The technicals are coiled super tight, just waiting for the answer. Keep a close eye on those charts, respect your stop losses, and stay relentlessly curious. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.